The ultimate life form. Chaos control.
Space
Desperation. Supersonic. Collision. Untamed power of chaos.
Professor Gerald.
The truth about 50 years ago.
Sonic Adventure 2. Last episode. Wishes are eternal.
I'm very excited for SonicxShadow Generations, with it finally having a release date for October 25th, weirdly the exact same day as Venom 3, comes with exclusives, but one of them was something no one expected, which is a recreation of Dr. Gerald Robotnik's book, his journal of his creation of Shadow. And detailing about it. Now the journal hasn't released yet because it's an exclusive, but if you can see from the exclusives image they showed at the end of the trailer, you can see what it looks like to be Angel Island and the Ark. Obviously the Colony Ark, but the specific theory of Shadow's creation and with Supersonic. Just from the image, it says detailing the creation of Shadow with Angel Island being on there. And if you remember from Hidden Palace Zone of Sonic and Knuckles, it shows a mural of two things. One of like some big being holding the Master Emerald, and another one that's blue with the gold ore around it. And the mural is found on Angel Island within the recesses of the Master Emerald Chamber. God, I cannot speak right now. Now, if you collected all the Master Emeralds, people will obviously just find out that this is supposed to resemble Supersonic and the Space Death Egg fight, because you play as Supersonic, which is to resemble the blue being covered in gold aura, and the Death Egg robot that's trying to get away with the Master Emerald, holding the Master Emerald as seen in the mural, which was all predicted by the echidnas who had lived there before. And now, in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 manual, it reads that the echidna thinks back on the prophecy of the Great Dragon, of there being an egg on Angel Island that will give birth to a dragon and bring disaster, but to that, it wasn't an actual egg, it was just a figurative way of saying the Death Egg. But that probably has nothing to do with it, knowing that the development of Sonic and Knuckles was still underway from Sonic 3, so you could take that with a grain of salt. And one big common theory from Sonic is that before Sonic went to Angel Island, there was someone else who's seen the inhabitants of Angel Island, that being Dr. Gerald Robotnik. Sorry, I meant Professor. And it's obvious that he's had some knowledge of the echidnas since he's reconstructed the Master Emerald Shrine on the Space Colony Ark. Which also seems that he's gone through Mystic Ruins and looked at a perfect chaos mural from Sonic Adventure, which is why, as you play levels in Sonic Adventure 2, there are resemblance of his attempts to cloning chaos on the Space Colony Ark, which in trying to create the ultimate life form that can wield the power of chaos control. But as for Shadow and the Bio Lizard, the creations of the ultimate life form, where do they fall into place? Well, back to the mural from Sonic and Knuckles, that the Bio Lizard is representing the being holding the Master Emerald, that being the so-called Great Dragon, sealing the Master Emerald, and obviously for Shadow, being representation of the being in gold aura, aka the representative of Sonic, with him taking a hedgehog-like appearance, since he was always to be a doppelganger of Sonic, a lookalike. And then back to Professor Gerald Robotnik's journal. No one has been able to read it because obviously it's not out yet, but there's been this one guy on Twitter, well, I'll leave in the description, who's been able to read it just from looking at the screen, and I'll play the clip now.
I deciphered the engravings on an blank I found on a previous dig in the Mystic Ruins jungle and calculated the location of a fabled flying paradise. I went alone to verify my findings and was rewarded with the spectacle of an angelic island. The land was vast, lush, and hosted a number of biomes in close proximity to each other. I believe I could see an entire floating city at one point. Most majestic of all was a shrine devoted to what appeared to be a massive Chaos Emerald? Why is that? That's weird. Why is that redacted? Could this be the legendary Chaos Emerald? I mean, I feel like Chaos Master, I mean, right? I mean, we know what it is, so, like, why is this being redacted? Or maybe it's redacted in-universe. I dared not approach or overstay my welcome. As much as I wanted to explore every inch of the island, I felt it was a sacred land. Just setting foot on its soil felt taboo. I don't know if any civilization remains. The land is vast, and my stay was brief. But the majesty of that emerald and shrine will stay with me for the rest of my life. See, okay, emerald is not redacted there. Weird. So what is this other stuff that's redacted? Also, there are some pages torn out of this, because it goes from entry 170 to 185. I am about to embark on the most ambitious project of my life. The Earth's first orbital space colony will be the 9th wonder of the world. It will be a place of science researching all manner of ways to improve our home below. Seeing as it was a vessel meant to preserve life amid the harshness of space, I have christened it the Ark. It shall be a vessel to pass on the value of life and peace to the next generation. And while most of the megastructure will be hidden within the base planetoid, I may have gone a little self-indulgent in the design, ho-ho. The only real concern is the source of the funding. While the United Federation supports us, most of the financing is coming from blank. I have no illusions about what they'll want, but I'm building the Ark to preserve life, not end it. While I have my concerns, I am a genius, so I'm sure I'll figure something out when the time comes. This is going to be so interesting to, like, read the rest of. I cannot wait to have this in my hands.
Someone even said on Twitter that says, I guess this confirms that Gerald knew about Angel Island and Lost World, which the Lost World parts had me confused. And in the tellings of SonicxShadow Generations, there have been new hub worlds, obviously based on Sonic Frontiers since they're more open, but someone said on Twitter, I'm pretty sure they're connected since it was teased that Time Eater had some ties to Mephiles. More so, since Soliana seems to be the hub world, maybe it's repercussion of a discarded timeline. And if you look in the bottom right corner of this image, there's some purple substance that's in the bottom of the water, which people connected it to Mephiles. And then within the new trailer of SonicxShadow Generations, showing all the shadow stuff, it shows footage of 2 new levels that have been shown, that being Rail Canyon and Kingdom Valley. And if you played Sonic Heroes,
Shadow?
Let's go.
Rail Canyon is when he first discovers the Shadow Android, and Kingdom Valley.
Oh, how ironic fate can be. I would never have believed I would be resurrected through your shade. I thank you, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Who are you? And how do you know my name?
I'm Mephiles. Mephiles the Dark.
Is when he first encounters Mephiles. And obviously for the Space Colony Arc, that's obvious. It's where Shadow was created, as well as where the death of mariarobotnik took place. Now there is one other thing that I'm not sure everyone really knows about, and neither do I, is that how does Shadow have these new Black Doom powers? And that will most likely obviously be given to us once the game actually comes out, since there's not really anything on it yet. But all the website reads is that harness Shadow's new Doom powers to battle hordes of enemies and tackle platforming challenges like never before, surf on water, fly over obstacles, and stop time with the return of chaos control. Now with SonicxShadow Generations, we could possibly see the return of the Shadow Androids, which we have already seen in the IDW comics, as well as Mephiles. Because at the end of Sonic 06, they subsequently erased him from existence, but if he is in ties related to the Time Eater, who's to say he can't bring him back? After all, it does say that he is going through dimensions, as well as going through time. And back to Gerald and of his inhabitants of onto Angel and of Mystic Ruins. Because obviously, of him seeing the mural of chaos, he wanted to make his own creation, as I said before. which is why the creatures on the space colony Ark resemble of chaos, that being artificial chaos P1 variant and as well as artificial chaos P100 variant, with both of them wearing helmets that have the Project Shadow symbol right on it, and he would use that of getting up all that data he got from the mural with Chaos and his artificial Chaos clones for the Bio Lizard, the ultimate life form prototype. But since of him doing that, the Bio Lizard project got too out of hand, in which he had canceled it, and instead of basing the ultimate life form off of the serpent, which that being perfect chaos, into Bio Lizard, he designed it off of the being in the mural, that being supersonic, which is why, like in Adventure 2, supersonic looked exactly like Super Shadow, just obviously minus the red tattoos. At the end events of Sonic Adventure 2, as when Sonic and Shadow were trying to hold off the space colony Ark from crashing onto Earth, it was said that everyone believed that Shadow died in the accident, but if you played Shadow the Hedgehog and did the final boss and lasted longer, you would get special dialogue from Eggman saying that he didn't die, and it was that one of his robots saved him from crashing, and he just got amnesia, which is why in Shadow the Hedgehog, as well as Sonic Heroes, he doesn't know who he is, nor who Sonic was.
Can you hear me? This might be the last chance I have to speak to you, so what I said about having created you, it was all a lie. Everyone thought you died during that horrible incident, but I rescued you with one of my robots. You lost your memory, that's all. You really are the ultimate life form my grandfather created.
And then also back to Heroes with Riddle Canyon, which is when he encounters the Shadow Android. And then now when I think about it, if all this is just related to time, who's to say that Shadow won't encounter a younger version of him? Obviously not like classic Sonic, because Sonic, that being modern Sonic, obviously with classic Sonic, because there's no classic Shadow, but who's to say he wants me like a younger version of him, like with the Shadow that was with Maria on the space colony Ark, that being a Shadow that didn't know who he was. Now I'm not sure if I was going off topic on some parts, but that's all I'm gonna say for this video. We just gotta wait until the game actually comes out and for Gerald Robotnik's journal to be given to us. But again, who's to say we won't see a younger version of Shadow from the past with Maria? By the way, I'm also including, if I have gotten anything wrong in this video, please correct me, because this isn't the first time I've done something like this and gotten a lot of stuff wrong.